back to my channel. Today I filmed for you a tattoo tour. This video has actually been specifically requested by David Miller, so thank you David for that suggestion, and I hope you all really enjoy the video. Before I get into the explanation of my tattoos and when I got them, etc, etc, I have arranged a quick tattoo compilation for you here. Okay, so this is my first ever tattoo. I was in my 20s, my early 20s. I can't remember exactly how old though. And I decided that for my birthday I wanted to get a hand tattoo. I wanted one similar to the one that Cheryl Cole had. And I was so worried that it was gonna hurt, but I went on the internet and I was like googling how much does a tattoo hurt. And some people were like, oh my gosh, it's worse than childbirth, I'd rather have a baby again than go through that, which just scared me. And then somebody else was like, oh, it tickled, it was fine, it was painless. I was like, this is inconclusive, I don't know if this is gonna hurt or not. But anyway, I spent the afternoon just basically psyching myself up to get a tattoo. and I was like, I'm gonna get a tattoo, I'm gonna get a hand tattoo, I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna be brave. And so I mentally got myself in the headspace prepared to get a tattoo. I go to a tattoo shop, I tell them I want my hand tattooed, and they say, no, we don't tattoo hands. You can have anywhere else you want tattooed, but not hands. So, I mean, I was pretty set at this point on getting my hand tattooed, so I left that shop and I tried another tattoo artist, and I got the same story. Anyway, long story short, I tried a heap of tattoo artists and they were all saying the same thing. Everybody refused to tattoo my hand. I was pretty gutted, but I was also determined I was getting a tattoo that day either way. Like, I spent all that time psyching myself up, I was having a tattoo. So the last place I went to, when they had turned me down and said no, but we'll tattoo somewhere else if you like, they had a book of flash designs. So I was looking through this book of flash designs and I came across this lower back tattoo, and it was a tribal design, and I really like tribal designs. Originally, before I started my tattoo journey, I thought that when I had lots of tattoos they would all be tribal based, which never happened. But I really like this tribal design, so I went away, the guy drew up the design, I came back and he tattooed it on me, and actually it never hurt. I found it really tickly. It was just, I guess it's like the soft parts at the back of my back, if that makes sense. I speak good grammar. They were just like, with the vibrations of the gun, it was just really tickly, and I didn't find it painful at all. I really enjoyed the process of having that tattoo, and it healed really quickly and with no complications. It was so itchy when it gets to the itchy stage, but it healed really great, and that was my first tattoo, and I found it very addictive. I wanted to go and get more tattoos and more and more and more, and that just really started my love for tattoos. I don't really like that tattoo anymore because I feel like it doesn't suit my body shape, like it doesn't flow with my body shape and complement it. So I'm very curvy, I have a small waist, and then I have like larger thighs and like larger hips, and so I kind of go like in like this and then out like this, and I feel like that back tattoo is very straight across. It's as if it was drawn with a ruler, and it doesn't really flow. It kind of just, I don't know how to describe it, it just doesn't flow very well. I don't like how it looks. I would like to get it covered up with something else, but I just don't know what it could be covered up with, and I'm concerned that because it's such a thick black heavy pattern that in order to cover up it would have to be with something else which is even more thick and black heavy patterned, and I really don't want something that is that thick and black and heavy patterned. So for the time being I've just left it as is. I don't regret getting a tattoo, I just regret the design. But it was this tattoo that started my love for tattoos and started me on the journey that I have embarked on. So this tattoo here is my neck piece, and I got that done maybe 2-3 weeks ago now. I'd really wanted a neck piece for a long time, but I wasn't sure if it would suit me. I always saw it on other people, I thought it looked amazing on them, it was so lovely, but it's such a big statement piece, so you really need to be sure before you get it done. And also I wasn't sure if it was going to suit me. You know how you go to the hairdressers and you say, hey, I want this haircut because it looks absolutely stunning on somebody, but then they cut your hair like that and it doesn't suit you and you just look a bit gross. So I was worried that that would happen. So I put this off for a long time, and also I wasn't sure what I wanted here. I've been feeling more drawn towards realism style tattoos since my hand tattoo, so I decided I wanted a realistic style tattoo for my neck. So if you watch my previous vlog, I'm hiding something, you will see that video is actually about me getting my neck tattoo, and in that video I explain if it hurt and how I found it. But just to cover that again, in case you've not seen that vlog, I'll put the link in the description box below. But just to cover the points again, I did find it painful, but not for the entire session. So the first half of the session I found it to be very tickly, and the hardest part for me was not laughing, which I was quite surprised about because I had really heard that it hurt quite a bit. And at one point I had my eyes shut, my neck stretched, and I was just zoned out listening to music, nearly fell asleep. So I thought the second half was going to be an absolute breeze, but it wasn't. It was extremely painful. I really struggled to get through that last half of the session. The tattoo artist told me that's because he was going over work he had already done, so the skin there was a lot more sensitive, and that's why I found the second half more painful. Honestly, I wish the second half was as easy as the first half because it would have been so easy. I found the healing of the tattoo was more painful than getting it done, because at least when you get it done, you know after 3 hours that's it, like the pain's going to stop. But with the healing of the tattoo, it was very tender for quite some time, and yeah, I did not like the healing part of the tattoo, but it's all healed now, it's all good, and this is definitely one of my favorite pieces. Although I say that like every time I get a new piece, I'm like, this is my favorite, this is my favorite. But I love all my tattoos. Like, I think they're all amazing. I really like them, except for maybe my back tattoo. I'm not 100% like yay enthusiastic about that one. So then my chest tattoo here, that one took 3 hours also. I designed that with the tattoo artist after I had changed from my sporty car to my very girly Fiat 500. I'd always been known to have sporty cars. I wasn't very girly, I was more of a tomboy, especially in the job that I'm doing now. It's not very girly. So yeah, there's definitely like that hardcore side of me. I'm very much a survivor and a fighter. I don't give up easily. I just keep going no matter what I'm going through in my life. I just keep going, I keep going, I keep going. And that just represents the hardcore side of me. So I wanted this tattoo to represent half of it, to represent that side of me, the hardcore side, the bad side. And then there was the other half of me which was girly and liked makeup and likes girly things and girly cars and likes sparkle, and so like there are two sides of me, and I wanted my tattoo to represent that. So that's why the other side says cute. So I wanted something that I felt would represent that really well, and I really like skulls. I don't know why, but I really like skulls. So I knew I wanted a skull, and we decided to do half the skull cute and half the skull bad. So the side of the skull that's cute, it's got the very floral design, it's very girly, and then the side of the skull that is bad is a bit more evil looking. So yeah, that also took 3 hours to complete. It was extremely painful. It felt like a surgeon's scalpel ripping into my skin for 3 hours straight, and I really wasn't sure how I was gonna get through to the end of the session, but I did, because I'm a survivor, I'm a fighter, I don't give up. So I managed to survive to the end of that session, and I have this awesome chest piece which I really like. This is another tattoo that I put off getting for ages because, again, I'd seen it on other people, thought it looked amazing on them, but just wasn't sure how it would look on me. And of course it's going to be there forever, so I had to be absolutely 100% sure of the design before I went ahead and got it done. So then my hand tattoo, I can't remember how long this one took actually. It was not too painful to get done, but the healing was very painful. I suspect I actually got infected. Because the skin got very dry, it cracked open and it was weepy. I was using ointment and antibacterial hand wash, but it didn't seem to be doing anything. In fact, it just seemed to aggravate it. So yeah, this was extremely painful for healing, but getting done wasn't too bad. I actually have scars on this one from where it had cracked open. But you can't really tell unless you're looking for them specifically. This was the start of my love for realism style tattoos. I sound like a broken record. I wasn't sure if a hand tattoo was going to look good on me or not. again, I thought it looked ace on other people but just wasn't sure about myself, and so I put it off ages, and then I eventually was just like, you know, I want to get this done, I'm getting this done, I'm going for it. I don't regret it, I think it looks awesome on me, I love it. So my finger tattoos, I drew these on with Sharpie. I went on the internet and I found designs I liked and I drew them on with Sharpie because, again, I wasn't sure if it was going to look good on me. I feel like I have fat, thick, stumpy fingers, especially without like false nails on, and so I thought if I put ink on my fingers that it would just look ugly and disgusting. But I really did like the look of finger tattoos, so I decided to draw it on with Sharpie and see how I felt. I did not want to wash the Sharpie off, so I decided that I was gonna go and get it done for real. And I think I actually have a picture here which I'm going to insert just here of my hand with a Sharpie versus my hand with the actual tattoo being done. So this tattoo here is a matching tattoo with my husband. His one says king and mine obviously says queen. My husband always calls me his princess, but I guess I got a promotion because now I'm his queen. So we decided to get these done. It was actually all his idea. It really took me by surprise when he suggested it. He'd been wanting a tattoo for a while, but he didn't know what he wanted to get, so he'd just been putting off getting a tattoo. But he really liked the idea of the couple's matching tattoos, especially this specific design. So he put the suggestion forward to me and I was like, yeah, let's do this. So yeah, we went and got it done, and I love it. It's so great, and it's just that reminder of the two of us here always, all the time. So this tattoo here was done by my friend. I really love this tattoo. It's got so much fond memories and feelings attached to it for me. I went to secondary school with this girl. We were friends, still are, and she was always into drawing. She was very artistic, and then as we grew up she was very much into tattoos and into modelling, and I was also into tattoos and modelling, so our interests were the same. We got on quite well together. We've actually done a photo shoot together. It was a Harley Quinn and Joker photo shoot that we did around the time Suicide Squad was released. So I've put some pictures in somewhere on the screen here. So she took her love of tattoos to the next level and her love of art, and she became a tattoo apprentice. So she asked me if I was willing to allow her to practice on me, and I just felt so honoured that she had asked me, because she was only doing this with a select few people. And I was like, yes, definitely, you can practice on me. And so I picked one of her designs. She's into very much colourful tattoos, whereas I'm more black and white tattoos. Her design for this actual tattoo was in colour, but because I like black and white, we adapted it to a black and white version. But we also added a little pop of colour in there, and I think that's cool because the black colour of the tattoo caters to me, and then the little pink is like her. She's there in the tattoo. So yes, and I really love cats, and so this tattoo is just a reminder of my love for cats as well, and I really like it. So this next tattoo on my arm that I'm showing you on the screen somewhere is a songbird. I got this, was probably my second tattoo actually. I got this because somebody I was seeing at the time had done somebody else a favour, and they offered that person a free tattoo as a way of saying thank you. That person was not into tattoos in any way, shape or form. Actually caused a lot of problems between us, but they surprisingly, which is really weird and out of character, gave me the gift of that tattoo. So I went along and I had this bird done. The bird design was drawn up and selected by the tattooist, and he also put colour in there. I, like I've mentioned already, am not a fan of colour tattoos, so this one is not my favorite. I do not like the fact that there's color in there. I have considered getting it redone with black because I like the design, but I don't like the color. Also, one of the blue colors has actually gone green over time, and I don't like green, so I'm not a fan of that. But I really like the design. The design itself is beautiful. It's just the color aspect that I am not very keen on. So yeah, I got this bird and it didn't mean anything to me. It was just a bird, it was just a free tattoo, and I got it done. But then after some time I went back and I got the musical notes added to the top and the word believe added to the bottom, and that converted the bird into a songbird. Because something you may not know about me is that I love to sing and I write my own songs. And so I'm always singing. Like, my brother used to get really mad at me when we were growing up because I would walk around the house singing all the time. Make my breakfast, singing. Washing the dishes, singing. And he would just get so mad. I was just a little songbird. And so that converted that tattoo into a songbird tattoo, and it became personal and meaningful to me. The words believe are a reminder to myself to believe in myself and my ability. When I was younger, I used to sing all the time, like I said, and I never used to be afraid to sing in public or in front of people. I have this one memory where my mum took me to the supermarket and she went walking around the shops and I stayed by the entrance. I found an empty crate turned upside down, stood on it. It was like my soapbox. My mum had got me a microphone toy for a gift, and I was singing into this toy microphone on my little soapbox to all the shoppers. I wasn't even nervous, thinking, oh my gosh, people can hear me. I didn't care. I wanted people to hear me because I loved to sing. Anyways, a family member told me that I couldn't sing, and every time I sang said, who keeps making that squeaking noise, or it sounds like a cat's tail being stood on. And over time they really knocked my confidence and I became afraid to sing in front of people. It's taken me years and years. I'm slowly getting there where I feel a little bit confident to sing in front of people, but yeah, I really lost my belief in my own ability to sing, and I started taking singing lessons. I met this amazing woman. She actually ended up becoming one of my best friends, and she really taught me to believe in myself and to have the courage to sing in front of other people. And so that word believe is just a reminder to believe in myself and believe in my ability to sing. So my sleeve on my arm, this was actually started by another artist initially. The bit with the cards and the skull and the gun, that was started by another artist, and I haven't actually mentioned him in the video. I knew I wanted a tattoo sleeve. I wanted one for a very long time. I had sent some pictures to this tattoo artist as points of reference. I did not want them to be exact, but I had said, look, this is kind of what I'm looking for or what I'm wanting to go with. One of the images I sent was basically this cards with the skull and the gun, and I did not like the cards. I did not want them included. I wanted the skull, I wanted the gun from that picture, but I didn't want the cards. And then I sent him another picture as a point of reference, thinking he could take a bit of that and then add it to the existing photo and make a custom design tattoo for me. They wouldn't allow you to book appointments. They worked off of walk-in basis only, which I was very annoyed about. It wasn't convenient for me because I lived 30 odd miles away, and I would have to get up extra early in the morning, drive all the way in, and stand outside the shop for hours and hours before the shop opened. So like, I was getting up at the crack of sparrows, and then I had to stand there and wait, and then just hope that I got there before too many people got there, because they would only tattoo so many people, and if I was too far down the queue, I was sent away home. And I remember going along for my first session. I was lucky enough to be seen, The tattoo artist was given my points of reference and I waited for a consultation with him. He came out, he was very grumpy, he'd already done up the design. He ushered me into the studio, he sat me down and put it on my arm, and he kind of asked me if I liked it. I really didn't feel like I could say that I didn't, because he was very grumpy, he was not very personable at all. I felt like I was annoying him just by being there, just by giving him business. These are just like my feelings, this is how I interpreted the situation. I looked at the design and I didn't hate it, like I could live with it, so I said yeah, okay, go ahead. That is a very stupid thing to do. I would strongly recommend you do not do that. If there is anything about a tattoo that you don't like, before the tattoo artist tattoos you, say no. And if they aren't happy with that, get up and walk out. I've learnt that the hard way. When I got my sleeve, I was only like, this was like my third tattoo in, I think. I was still very shy, and so I didn't want to upset him, but I have come on leaps and bounds. I'm a lot more confident now. If there's something about a design I don't like, I say, hey, I don't like this, but I do like this, can you change it like this, because it is going to be on your body forever. So do not do what I did. Totally 100% recommend that you speak up before they tattoo on you and say, no, I'm sorry, I'm not happy with this aspect of the tattoo, can we do X, Y or Z, can we tweak it like this? But anyway, lessons learned. So I went ahead and let the man tattoo me. I had my first session, I left. Again, he was very grumpy, he didn't want to have any conversation, he just seemed very irritated by my presence. I'm very polite, so I don't see what I had done. I think just breathing in his general direction was enough to aggravate the man. So I left. I asked if I could book an appointment, knowing full well that the policy was walk-ins, but I tried, and again they refused to let me have an appointment and told me I just have to do walk-ins. So the following time I went, again I got up at the crack of sparrows, drove all the way in, stood outside the shop for hours. When I first got to the shop, there was only one person by the door, so I was like the second person. I was like, great, fantastic. All of a sudden, all these car doors that were parked alongside the shop got opened and people came out, like carfuls of people came out, and they said, no, sorry, we were here first. You are going to have to go home because there are too many of us. You will not be seen. Well, first of all, you were sat in your car, not outside the shop, so technically you're not in the queue. Also, I'm not going to be told what to do by a bunch of strangers. I'm not going to be bullied or like pushed away or intimidated to leave. I will wait for the shop to tell me I have to leave. But it was kind of just me against like a bunch of these people, so I didn't really feel like I could say, well, excuse me, this is a load of rubbish, like you can't do that. But I waited in the queue. It was a soaking wet, raining day, I was freezing cold, I was damp. I waited for hours. Eventually the shop opened. I thought they would turn me away at that point there and then, but no, they took me into the shop, they took my name, and they asked for the tattoo artist I'd been working with. I was allowed to sit down for some time. After a period of time passed, they eventually came out and said, no, he's not going to tattoo you today, there are too many people, you need to go home. So again, I petitioned them, I pleaded, can you please let me book an appointment? I have a long distance to travel, it's not like I'm local and I'm having to get up really early in the morning to drive here and then be here hours before the shop opens. Those people that were before me weren't even in the queue, they were waiting in their car, and the person was just like, no, sorry, you're just gonna have to keep trying your luck. I decided there and then that was a load of rubbish. I wasn't going to continue going back to that shop. I thought the way that they handled things was not for me. So I left and I went back to the person who had done the bird tattoo. When I went there and explained what I wanted for my sleeve and how I wanted it to look, he told me I would be best suited to this other tattoo artist they had there. He was more into my style. That was Grump's tattoo, so he put me to him. I had my consultation with him. He asked me what I had envisioned for my tattoo sleeve, which was a breath of fresh air, by the way. this is what I was looking for with my first consultation and never got. So I said to him, I want my tattoo sleeve to be meaningful to me. I want it to portray me. I'm very weird. I said if Alice in Wonderland was a real world, it's the world I would live in. It's where I would feel at home. It's very much up my street. Everybody keeps telling me I'm a weirdo, and I agree with them. I am a bit of a weirdo. So I said I want it to be along the Alice in Wonderland theme, but I'm also very much into cars and fixing things, so I definitely want that to be worked into the tattoo somehow. And also my favourite computer game, because I'm a gamer and I love gaming, is Skyrim, so I want something related to Skyrim put in there as well. So the tattoo artist came up with some ideas, he showed them to me. He actually has a rabbit from Alice in Wonderland on here, and it looks like he is chasing after time, or time is chasing after him. And I thought that was so relevant to me, because I always feel like I'm running out of time. I feel like I never have enough time. Time is not on my side. I feel like time is my enemy, and I'm always chasing after time, but I also feel like time is chasing after me. So the rabbit just was perfect. We got the Cheshire cat put in there because I love cats, and also it's Alice in Wonderland themed, but I am very much into cats. For my love of cars and fixing things, I'm so impressed with the tattoo artist's depiction of that. He took a flower, and the stamen, the middle part of the flower, he made a piston, a car piston, and spanners, and it's just a genius idea, and it really fits into the whole weird, wonderful, quirky Alice in Wonderland theme. He also did like a turbo snail, because it represents, like, the snail with its shell being a turbo, because it represents my love for cars, but it's also the kind of thing you would expect to find in Alice in Wonderland. You would expect to find a snail with a turbo in Alice in Wonderland, just because everything's so weird and wonderful. So yeah, he did that. And then he put in a helmet from Skyrim, and then some writing underneath that says Dragonborn. The ink has actually come out with that healing, and I need to go back and get that touched up. But yes, so I'm really happy with how that sleeve turned out. So my Shin tattoo was actually inspired off of a pair of tights from eBay, believe it or not. I got a pair of tights from eBay, and they were just skin colored tights, but at the bottom they had a picture of a pony, and I liked where it sat on my shin, and I thought, hey, that would make an absolutely cool tattoo. So I went to my tattoo artist at the time, and I was like, excuse me, but I want you to turn this into a tattoo, but I don't want it to be a pony, I want it to be a horse. I want the horse to represent horsepower, because I'm really into my fast sporty cars. And I would like the banner to say pedal to the metal, because that's a phrase known for, you know, when a car goes really fast, you're going pedal to the metal. Which, by the way, I actually think it's weird that pedal to the metal is associated with a car going fast, because I think if you have to put the pedal to the metal, your car is slow. I mean, I drive at Fiat 500, it's a 1.3 diesel, it is slow AF, and I have to put the pedal to the metal to get 60 miles an hour. It is not a sports car, it is not going fast. So I kind of think it's a bit daft that pedal to the metal means going fast, but anyway, my Shin tattoo says that to represent going fast, because I am a walking contradiction, literally, because I walk with the tattoo that is contradiction. So yeah, that was that tattoo. So the final tattoo that I'm going to talk about is the one on my foot. It's a henna design tattoo, and I got it just after my trip to London. It was the first time I'd been to London. We went to the ice bar in London, which was pretty awesome. It was such an amazing experience, but it was freezing cold. Because I was freezing cold, I decided to order the drink on the menu that sounded like it was hot, even though obviously it's not hot, but it sounded like it. It was like a fire-breathing dragon or something like that. So I had that, but it was also the most highest in alcohol content, and I got very jolly very quickly. My friend also was very jolly, and we left the ice bar and decided that we wanted to go back to the hotel. My friend was walking up the street in her bare feet, and we were trying to flag a taxi down, and none of the taxis would stop. And because we were not in the most sober of states, everything seemed more dramatic than it really was. So I started to think that we were never going to be able to get home, that we were just going to be stuck walking the streets of London for the rest of the night. And I started to cry, and then this club rep came up to us and he was trying to give us tickets to his club and get us to go to his nightclub, and I'm just there in tears like, I just want to go back to the hotel and I can't flag a taxi down. And this guy was so nice, he actually flagged a taxi down for us. So we're back at the hotel. It was quite a posh hotel, and the two of us are walking up the stairs like, shh, shh, no you, shh, no you, shh, shh. It was such a great time there though. I really loved going on the London Eye. I absolutely adored going to the London Dungeon. I really enjoyed that, and going to Madame Tussauds. We went to, there was a fire alarm that went off, everybody disappeared including the staff members, and we were all left just panicking, not even sure how to get out of, like, we didn't know how, we didn't know, and everybody's running around. There's such panic and commotion. I was a fire warden in my previous job, so I kind of had an idea what to do, and I looked for the fire exit signs and I told my friend, like, follow me. We just followed the fire exit signs. We got to a fire door and it was locked, which by the way is against the law. You can't do that, it's illegal. So we're like, oh my gosh. So we go follow the signs to the next fire door, that is also locked. By this point, people have caught on to the fact that I kind of have an idea where I'm going. So I've got this whole host of people following me. There's mothers with prams and my friends helping them with the prams. And then we end up, long story short, we end up basically just short of the roof. Like, we keep going up a flight of stairs and up another flight of stairs because it was the only fire exit left. And we got to the last fire exit and it was also locked, and the only other option, if we didn't go out this fire exit, was to go to the roof, which would have bought us some time, but obviously it's not ideal. But then somebody said that they could break the door to get out, and then somebody else was like, oh, but you know, we'll be done for criminal damages, etc, etc. And then somebody else was like, well, do you want to be burned to death or do you want to be done for criminal damages? And I'm thinking, you know, considering that they have locked fire doors, which is against the law, I would say they're going to be in a lot more trouble than whoever damages that door trying to get out. But fortunately we managed to get out without damaging the door. Somebody opened the door from the outside, it was member of staff. We got out there and basically found all members of staff had vacated. They had vacated the premises and were all outside. Basically they had done what we thought they had done. The fire alarm went off, all members of staff went out to the muster point, didn't even help people, just left them to it, and we were all left wondering. And if it hadn't been for my friend and I, there would have been a bunch of people lost, panicking and afraid. So that was definitely an experience. My friend told her mum and her mum complained, and the company responded by offering free tickets. So yeah, sorry we almost killed you, here's some free tickets so we can potentially almost kill you again, thanks. But it was such a good trip, it was such an experience, I really loved it. And I loved how all the people down there like dressed really smart and really made an effort. And I came home and then I got my henna foot tattoo done, and that always reminds me of my trip to London with my friend Kerry. Hi Kerry, if you're watching this. So that concludes the tattoo tour. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments box below and I will get back to you on that. If you have any suggestions for videos that you would like me to do, let me know and I will take that into consideration. So thank you for watching. Remember to subscribe, hit the bell icon because it will notify you every time I put up a new video. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and I'll catch you next time. Bye!